guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ladi. For those of you who do not know me, I do crochet videos, market day vlogs, lifestyle vlogs, and a bunch of other stuff. By a bunch of other stuff, if you guys clicked on this video, if this is the first time you're watching me, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the button that looks like this one. I can't use my hands because I am feeding my baby. I gave birth, y'all. I gave birth, so he's right here. He's just eating. Yeah, so I'm here. This video is so that you guys can sit back and crochet and have something to listen to. So many people have been messaging me how my labor went. How's it going? I am 2 weeks and 2 days postpartum now. I've been in baby bliss pretty much. Also struggling with emotional demons as well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna talk about all of that today. But yeah, I hope you guys can sit back, relax, and watch this video, and I get to tell you all the tea, and I miss you guys. I miss talking to you guys. I realized how much YouTube and you guys have helped me just feel heard and not feel so alone these past 2 weeks where I'm like, quote unquote, I was on maternity, and I'm still on quote unquote maternity in my own head. I love you guys, like genuinely from the bottom of my heart, all you guys who are, especially you guys who not only click on like the market day videos, like granted, if you do that, totally fine. I know people I love money. But for the people who really mess with me for me and like click on these lifestyle vlogs, because there's gonna be a lot more of them, I really, really appreciate every single one of you, genuinely. From the bottom of my heart, if I could hug every single one of you, I would. So many of you who have checked in on me, tried to see how I'm doing. I know I haven't responded. I've been doing my best to kind of quote unquote stay offline right now, just so that I can focus on him. But yeah, let's get into this labor story. I didn't think I was gonna give birth until I hit 41 weeks. I genuinely thought that this baby was not gonna come out of me. I fully thought that I was gonna have to be induced, just from how there was no signs of anything. Turns out I was having contractions. I just didn't know I was having contractions. I thought they were Braxton Hicks. Funny enough, when I was at the hospital, only one part of my stomach actually gets hard during a contraction. And so that's why they were like, oh, that's why you didn't know you're having contractions, because they tell you your whole stomach is gonna get hard. Mine didn't. So I didn't even know I was having contractions. But I'm not gonna talk your guys' ear off for that. If you guys hear farting or anything, I swear to God, it's not me. My boy down here, he's got some power down there. Especially after drinking mama's milk. he's got some power. Anyways, so September 23rd, 2:40 in the morning, I wake up and I feel wet. Sorry if that sounds weird. I felt wet. So then I get up and I'm like, there's no freaking way I peed myself. Like, I've done so good this whole pregnancy. How did I pee myself? Literally, I was 39 weeks and 3 days. And I stand up and then all of a sudden there's more water and it just starts going down my legs. And I'm like,
I think my water just broke. Because I'm like, I'm not peeing right now. I know what it feels like when I'm peeing.
this is not pee. So it's 2:40 in the morning. I'm in like shock that this is happening. And I wake up, so it takes me like, I go to the bathroom to see like what it is, if there's any, whatever, and nothing. So then 20 minutes later, it's 3 o'clock, and he finished his bottle and he's gonna want more. He eats so much. So 20 minutes later, I get up or 20 minutes later, I get out of the bathroom and I tell Oscar, babe, like I wake him up and I'm like, Oscar, I think my water just broke. And he's like half asleep and he's like, what? Are you serious? Are you joking? And I'm like, no, my water just broke. And my midwife at the time had told me if my water broke in the middle of the night, not to like scramble or stress, but to take my time, sleep, and then once it was morning, I could go and head in. So that's what we did, because I was hoping I could start feeling contractions, because I said to myself anyway, I wanted to like labor as much as I could at home. I wasn't contracting as much as, I wasn't contracting, or at least I didn't know I was contracting. So then I get there. We get to the hospital around 8 o'clock. They take me back. I'm in triage for like 2 hours. And by 11, I am in my delivery room. Well, we got there and I hadn't known if my water actually broke. Like I knew it broke, but you know, a girl doesn't know, so I have to let them tell me. And they're like, "No, yeah, girl, your water broke, and you're not leaving this hospital until you have this baby." And me and Oscar look at each other like, oh, "We're having our baby." So I was 39 weeks and 3 days. And by 11 o'clock, they put me back in my delivery room. Oh my god! And so then I on our way to the hospital, I called Mama Vibes, I called my dad, I called my sister. I was like, "Guys, I think this is happening. My water broke." And my family was so excited. Oh my god, he's sleeping. He's a little milk drunk baby. He loves milk. When I get there, they set me up. For some reason, because of the shape of my stomach, they could not, for the love of them. I had like 4 or 5 different nurses come in and try to put like this like contraction slash heart rate monitor for baby on me, and they couldn't get it. And it wasn't until one of the nurses put this Bluetooth one on me where I could freely move. I loved it. They could track his contractions and my and his heart rate through that, and it was like on my stomach. It was a little like Bluetooth thing. And then because they weren't tracking my contractions when I first got there, like they were trying to, but they couldn't. So that was super frustrating. Not anything that they could do, it was just like the shape of my belly wasn't allowing them to track. So when I got there, because my water had broke, guys, also for the medical people and that want to be in the comments, I'm just telling you my labor experience. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm not telling you what to do or anything like that. I'm just telling you what happened and what happened with me and what my medical staff did, okay? So please don't come for me. So I have my midwife come in, and because my water broke, they did not want to check me. And by check my dilation right away, to avoid any infection, because my water had broke, whereas a lot of women come in with when they're contracting and their water hasn't broken. I was told by my midwife, not many first time moms like water breaks on their own. Sometimes it happens, but not usually. At least that's what she told me. But my water broke. So I was in there. They couldn't check my dilation. So then they started me on a medication called Cervidil to basically ripen my cervix and help me dilate, and it will cause me to have contractions. Mind you, my whole labor and 12 hours of my labor, I was in labor for almost 24 hours, yeah. But 12 hours of that, I had no IV, no pain medication, no epidural, nothing. I was feeling every single contraction. I wanted to go without the epidural. I ended up getting an epidural 12 hours later, but I'll tell you about that later. And he's smiling while sleeping. Sweet boy. So I had to take Cervidil. Cervidil is like a medication that they gave me every 4 hours. I was only able to get to 2 doses because by the time I got to the 2 doses, I was contracting. So contractions for women, again, I'm just telling you what my midwife told me. Contractions for people in active labor can range in between 3 to 5 minutes, and once you're about to have baby, it gets like super close together, like a minute apart. It's like 5-5, that 5-1-1 rule. Not me. That medication, that Cervidil, ended up making me contract too much. So the first dose was fine, and I was contracting every 35 minutes, and man, those contractions weren't horrible, but they didn't feel good. They did not feel good. Once we got to the second dose, Lord, I was contracting every minute, every 30 seconds. What, baby? What happened? What? He does that in his sleep, y'all. He's sleeping. So I was contracting every 30 seconds, every minute, pretty much. That was for 8 hours, because I was supposed to get the 3rd dose at the 4th hour, and the nurse was like, "No, girl, you're contracting too much. You're not going to get another dose of this." And I was contracting so much that they were like, okay, we didn't want to check you. But mind you, at this point, that was 8 hours past the first 4 hour dose. So they were like, we're going to check you. So I'm 12 hours in. They check me. I'm only, I think I was only 4 centimeters dilated. I think. Mom brain. I was only 4 centimeters dilated, and my cervix was still in the way. Like, it had completely softened, so the medication did what it was supposed to do, but it still was in the way. So at that point, I'm 12 hours in, having contractions every 30 seconds, a minute, super erratic. Oscar's being the best, guys. I can't thank my husband enough. He stayed on his feet for the full 24 hours, rubbing my back through every contraction, rubbing my neck, rubbing my head, just telling me I can do this, like, biggest cheerleader. After I walked into that hospital one person and I came out a different person. And I look at my husband. I already loved my husband, but I came out looking at him in a completely different light. Like, I feel like I'm getting emotional. I didn't think I could love him any more than I already did. And this experience and just the love he gave me throughout my labor, I don't think there's ever gonna be someone. That man's my soulmate, 100%. The postpartum hormones, y'all, they ain't no joke. Anyways, so 12 hours later, I'm gassed, y'all. I have no energy. I am going through it. The first dose I was doing really good on because I had those 3 to 5 minutes to recoup and kind of prepare myself for the next contraction. That second, the next dose, the second dose, when I had those contractions, I had no time to regain my I had no way to regain energy, no way to come into my mind, or I was just kind of fight or flight. It was really hard for me to relax because I was getting no time in between contractions. Where was I? After I was like, I had no energy, my midwife and the nurse had basically told me, like, hey, you maybe you need to think about doing an epidural because you're contracting so much and it's going to get really hard, and it'll help you dilate probably because you're so, like, tense. So I opted to do the epidural. I know everyone has their thoughts on that. It helped me, thankfully. I was just really scared because I was contracting every 30 seconds. So I'm like, this guy's about to go into my spine. That was the most scariest experience of my life. Just like telling him, can you please wait in between a contraction? Please, please, please. And Oscar was holding my hands. It was really, really scary. And literally, it was just pressure after that. I was able to kind of like relax. I was able to just like be present in the moment. Once I got the epidural, it helped me within 15 minutes, guys. Oh my goodness. Those contractions were no joke. So like I said, I had no IVs. I had no medication. I had nothing. At that point, I had a fully, like, I had felt every single contraction. I really wanted to go all natural. I did. And I want to preface this, like, whether you got the epidural or you didn't, after labor, I look at women so differently. I look at moms so differently. It's absolutely insane. You walk in one person, you leave a different person. At least that's been my experience so far. After the epidural, I was only feeling pressure at that point. So I could feel myself, quote unquote, contracting, but I had no pain at that point. I was able to breathe. My nurse, mind you guys, I will never forget this nurse ever. Her name was Vanessa. She was like 5 months pregnant. And she turned me on both of my sides. At that point, after an epidural, you have to every hour change each, like, you have to change from one side to another. So she had me flipping and I had a peanut ball between my legs. As I'm reliving this, I'm like remembering all these details. My sister and my mom were rubbing my feet throughout all the contractions. At one point, during the contractions when they weren't so bad, my sister and my mom were helping me do like a step-up stool. So I was like, at the beginning of the labor, I was super, super like active. Like, I was walking around in the room. I was getting up, getting down on the stool. I had the peanut ball. I was on the yoga ball, like through contractions. I was trying my best just to bring him down. And that's when I told you guys, when they finally like checked, I was only 4 centimeters dilated. After the epidural, I think after 3 hours, they decided to check me again, and I had gotten up to 6, which was really good. And then the nurse would have me on my left side and my right side, and she did this like massage on my legs. Mind you, I hadn't rested at all. My mom said immediately fell asleep when she did that to me. I don't even remember. It felt so nice. She did 15 minutes on each side of my legs. So basically, I was just on my right side. She would put my left leg over my right leg. It was kind of hanging off the bed, and she just rubbed like my hip, like kind of down my IT band, and it relaxed me so much. And she did that 15 minutes on each side, right? At that point, Oscar finally sat down. We were kind of like, he sat down on a stool next to me, and we were kind of just breathing. I was able to finally relax after 12 hours. Well, at that point, we were at like the 15-hour mark. And then the pressure started building down there. So basically, it's like what they said. It does feel like you need to poop. It does feel like you need to go to the bathroom. And I was like, ooh, this pressure's starting to feel a little crazy. And I tell my nurse, I'm like, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. It's starting to like, I was like, oh, I'm having pressure. I'm having a lot of pressure. And the nurse is like, okay, like breathe. You got this. Like, and I start breathing through them. And mind you, I had the epidural. So like my thighs were kind of numb. And at one point I'm like, y'all, I feel like I need to push. Like, I feel like I need to go. So then my midwife comes, they all come. There's like nurses coming in, and my nurse is kind of scared because my midwife didn't immediately come. She's like, Larissa, you just gotta breathe through it, wait for her to come. Like my nurse was like kind of tripping a little bit because she's like, oh girl, this girl about to give birth, right? Mind you, they had just checked me and I was about a 6, right? 6, 7. And she was like, Larissa, you gotta breathe through these. And I'm like, no, dude, like I feel like I have to push. But I had just got the epidural, so I was still numb. So when my midwife comes, they set me up like as if I'm gonna give labor, and I just don't have enough feeling down there to push. And mind you guys, I am gassed. I am emotionally drained. I start crying and I start telling them I am so incredibly because I was pushing and I wasn't doing what I need to do. So I told them, like, I feel so disheartened. I feel so disappointed in myself. And they're like, no, you can't feel that way. Like, some people take hours to push. And I just hear everyone else who takes like 2 5-minute pushings and they push out their baby, and not me. So I felt so disheartened, and they were like so supportive and like, no, Larissa, like, you're fine. Like, it's okay. So I'm crying my heart out. And mind you guys, my brain's kind of like this right now, so I'm sorry if I go back in certain things. I feel like super, super disheartened, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I don't know why I can't push him out. And they're like, girl, it's the epidural. Let's wait 30 minutes so that it can wear off a little bit, and then you can have more, it's go time. Or we'll see, because you still have some cervix in the way. So I was like, whatever. Mind you guys, earlier in my labor, both my family and Oscar's family were there. Once the contractions picked up, all the men had gone to go eat, minus Oscar. I asked them, like, hey y'all, no men in here anymore. I'm so sorry. Like, this is super vulnerable for me. I can't. And Oscar's grandma was in there with me. I love Oscar's grandma. I have proclaimed that woman my grandma because she has treated me so well. And at one point, she was saying, because I started crying during my labor, and I said it out loud, like, I feel so embarrassed for how I am right now, like, I can't keep my composure. And she was like, no man can do this. Like, you scream if you have to, you cry if you have to. There's nothing, like, her words really stuck with me. And I think at one point Oscar was rubbing my legs, and I think it was right before she left, and I felt her, she's a very small woman, and I just felt her little hands rubbing my thigh during one of my contractions, and it brought me so much comfort. I love that woman. I really, really do. And once I started, once that epidural kind of like set in, well, mind you, I skipped a part. I had the epidural, and I was feeling so much pressure from it. I was feeling so much pressure that I needed to push, but I wasn't ready. So my midwife had told me I should press the button again so that I can like not feel so much pressure. And I was so confused on whether I wanted to press that button or not. So, but because I was feeling so much pressure and I wasn't anywhere near dilated enough for him to come out, I was like, okay, maybe this will help me get through it. Ultimately, I don't know if pressing that button helped or if that pressing that button was detrimental. It doesn't matter, because after I pressed that button, I immediately dilated to 9 or 10. So I don't know if it was the timing or if it was just the medication that let me relax a little bit more. I'll never know. I really won't. But that's why I couldn't push. That's why I couldn't feel anything, because I had just pressed that button. So I'm over here wanting to meet my baby, and I can't because I just pressed that damn button, and I was super numb. So they're like, we're going to come back in 30 minutes and we're going to try again. And then it was about 45 minutes later when they came back in, and it was go time. I was ready for me to push. Oscar was on my right side. My mom was on my left side. They were holding my legs. And at first they wanted me to bear down. Mind you guys, my labor plan, I just didn't want, I didn't want to give birth on my back. I really wanted to do on my like hands and knees or squatting, but because of the epidural and my feeling in my legs, I genuinely couldn't do any other position. But it's fine. My baby came out healthy. At one point in the labor, every time I was having a contraction, his heart rate would go down. It would take a dip. And the nurse was like, oh, he's probably just holding his cord, or his head is on his cord. And I asked her, I'm like, it's not around his neck, right? And she kind of like looks at me, and my heart just kind of sinks, because she doesn't want to tell me that she thinks that the cord is around his neck. And just something inside of me, guys, I knew it was around his neck. And something in me, like at that point, like my energy all came back again. Like I was desgastada. I was, how do you say that? Like I was just like, I was done. I was so drained. That's the word, drained. And I go and I'm like, okay, well, I need to push him out. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like his heart rate. I then develop a fever. My nurse goes, hey, talks to my midwife. She has a fever. My midwife doesn't hear her. And my nurse goes, hey, she has a fever. And my midwife's like, oh my God, she has a fever. Okay, let's give her Tylenol. Let's give her something. And so they give me something. My heart rate, I get up to like an 100 and, I think I was at 101 or something, and it was rising. So then my body temp was really like getting high. So then it was time for me to start pushing. And at first they wanted me to like bear down and like go like this and like push him out, chin down, not breathing. And I was like, I can't push like this. I have no power. So then, and at one point someone told me, don't make a scrunchy face, like relax your face. And I'm like, girl, I need that face for power. I know during lifting, I knew why she was saying that, but I needed it. So then I think I was pushing for like 2 hours, honestly. No one timed it. No one knew. I kept asking everyone. No one knew how long I pushed for. So I'm thinking I was pushing around for like 2 hours. If I had to like put it on the long-term end. And I am screaming at one point. Like I'm like, and I have to scream to get the feeling and like to push him. And at one point the midwife goes, oh my God. And guys, this might be TMI, so please skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. But she's like, oh my God, he has so much hair. Dad, do you want to feel? And Oscar's like, yeah. So Oscar touches his head. Mind you, I'm mid pushing. And then she's like, Mom, do you want to feel his head? And I'm like, okay. And I put my hand down there and I feel his head and it feels squishy. And I was like, that's weird. I didn't like how that felt. And I'm pushing and I'm pushing and I'm screaming. Oh, and throughout all this, I have labor shakes. After I got the epidural, oh my God, I got bad labor shakes. Like the first week after labor, I was sore from my arms. I was sore everywhere, guys, from how tense I was from the labor shakes. Let me know if you experienced that as well. So yeah, I was shaking my butt off. And then I push and I push. And finally, like, guys, this might be a little graphic, but I can, like, the ring of fire, it wasn't fiery for me, but I could feel him there. And they the nurse and the midwife, my mom and Oscar said that once his head fully came out, the midwife did a really quick like maneuver and took the cord, and it was around his neck, and took it off, and it was just like his little head. And then they had me like stop like scream pushing, and they were like, all right, you need to cough, push him through, wait a little. They had me wait a little bit with his head right there because they wanted my cervix to stretch a little bit. And then I finally, I'm sorry if the camera's moving, I've been rocking him so he's like chilling. I'll move you guys back a little bit, sorry. But yeah, so I'm pushing, and finally they're like, okay, you need to cough. So then I'm coughing, and he's basically head out, arms out, and my midwife goes, hey mama, do you want to pull your baby out? And I said, fuck yeah. I said, of course I do. I actually said, wait, really? And she goes, yeah. So then I scrunch up, I put my hands under his little elbows or his little armpits, and I physically pull my baby out, and I put him on my chest. And he starts letting out the softest cry. He didn't scream. He was just kind of letting off this like, cry. And I had a full on high temperature. Because of that, he had a high temperature, and nothing mattered but me and Oscar. My mom was crying, and I look at Oscar and I just tell him how much I love him. He tells me how much he loves me. And I will never forget that moment. Best day of my life. I couldn't believe I did it. Like, I was like, oh my God, I had a baby. Like, months of me thinking about labor, months of me being scared of labor. Mind you, I have war flashbacks. I will not, I would say I am traumatized in the best way possible. He was worth it. Looking at him now, I can't believe he's mine. I can't believe I got to go home with him. So then after labor, they followed what I wanted. They waited for the cord to go white, his umbilical cord. So they waited for it to go white. Oscar got to cut it. I had him for skin to skin for about 2 hours. They left him there with me. Every 15 minutes they were pressing on my stomach so that I could like let out all that excess. They showed me my placenta, and they showed me his the sack he was in, and I thought that was crazy. Oscar thought it was crazy. My placenta was huge. I don't know if placentas are just huge, but mine was a big mama placenta. And nothing mattered. My baby was in my arms. He was born at 5:43 in the morning, September 24th, 2025. So he was born 3 days before his dad's birthday. He measured 19 inches and 3/4, which we all think they measured him wrong because he looked a lot longer, but that's what's going to be on his paperwork. And he weighed 7 pounds. That was it. On all my ultrasounds, they told me he was going to be huge. They were wrong. He was only 7 pounds. I really thought I was going to have like a 9-pound baby, y'all, because his cheeks looked huge on the ultrasounds, but he didn't. He came out a tiny little baby, tiny little guy. He was so little. I didn't have any newborn stuff, y'all. I only had 2 newborn things with me at the time. He didn't fit in them. We're 2 weeks now. He's 2 weeks and 2 days, and now he's finally filling out his newborn. Like, his legs are stretching out the onesies now, and it makes me incredibly sad. But it makes me also happy that he's growing. He's getting some cheeks on him because this man can eat. I cannot keep up with milk. I'm pumping, and I cannot keep up with him. Absolutely not. So then, at my hospital, when a baby's born, they'll play a lullaby. Like, they'll play a lullaby on the intercom for the whole hospital to hear, and I didn't get to hear mine. And so when they were moving me from the delivery to postpartum, I told them, like, oh man, like, did they play it? And she was like, did you not get to hear it? And I'm like, no. And so the girl who pushed me, she literally like was like, all right, can you guys play a lullaby for a mom who's going to postpartum? And they played it for us, and I just cried in the hallway as they were wheeling me to there because I was on a wheelchair. And all these nurses and all these people saw me crying. They were just congratulating me as I was walking with him. Oscar was pushing him because he had to go to the nursery because I did end up getting an infection, y'all. That's why I got a fever. I did end up with an infection. It sucked. I have a lot of guilt. Like I feel it in my chest right now with the guilt that I predisposed him to something, and my sister had explained to me that it wasn't my fault. It was just because I had been in labor for so long and my water was broken. That's why they didn't want to check me. I was very susceptible to infection, and I ended up getting an infection. Thankfully, antibiotics, I was fine within a couple days. They had to keep him for 48 hours and do 2 blood cultures for him. So my baby kept getting his foot poked to get blood out every, like, I don't know how often. And it was really heartbreaking for me because I felt like it was my fault. But he was fine. We got to go home. We were there for 2 days and they let us go home because he was good. He had jaundice. So they did have to have one night where he was under blue light, and that was incredibly hard for me. Guys, I don't know if it was the postpartum hormones, but, and I'm going to sound, I know I sound over exaggerating, like dramatic. But when he would cry, when they would do something to him, like, mind you, he had shots, he got blood taken out, didn't cry, got a hearing test, didn't cry. Anytime they poked his little foot to get blood out, he didn't cry. But at night when he had to do, like, he had to have these little goggles on and they had to have him under the blue light because of his jaundice. If him crying because we weren't picking him up, it felt like someone was ripping my skin off. I know that sounds so dramatic, but hearing him cry the way he was crying, I felt so, I don't know why I felt like it was my fault. Like, I just felt like it was my fault. And I felt like I couldn't help him. And they told me I couldn't take him out of there until it was every 30, like, he had to be under the light for 3 hours, and I could only take him out for 30 minutes to feed. And it felt so, I felt so helpless. Like, he's good now. That's why they let us go home. Like, he had to do a little test, but my mom said me and my sister had the exact same thing when she gave birth to us. So that was that, right? So yeah, we got to go home, and we, like, so far, I am so grateful for him. I lucked out, honestly. I don't even want to, like, I don't want to jinx myself or anything like that. And maybe just because he's a newborn, he doesn't care where I put him to sleep. He can sleep in his crib. He can sleep in the bassinet. He can sleep pretty much anywhere. He only cries when he's hungry, or if he's, like, has a wet diaper. He only cries then. But when he cries, ooh. So he looks like his dad, but he has my personality. Hands down, the man has no patience. He gives you one chance and that's it. And then it's all World War III at that point if you don't change him in time or if you don't give him food on time. He's like, ah, and his little chin shakes. He goes, ah. And I'm like, yep, that's my boy. He has my anger. But he looks like my husband. He has a little dimple on the right side, so all the nurses were like, look at that dimple. Oscar has the same dimple on the same side. So absolutely so cool to see him. He has my schnoz. He has my feet, but everything else, he looks like his dad. So of course, 9 months of my work of art to look like his father, which is totally fine because how lucky am I to have a baby that looks like the guy that I fell in love with, and now I have like a mini him. So, but he acts like me, so period. Good luck, buddy, for me. But yeah, guys, I'm so sorry if it wasn't super detailed of a labor story. I did ask people to ask me questions on Instagram, so I'm gonna go through and answer as many labor questions as I can. I know this is gonna be a longer video, so I hope you guys can comment down below what you guys got to work on. I hope this helps you market prep because a girl's got a lot to say. But I'm hoping that now my YouTube, I am gonna be obviously doing a lot more quote unquote mom content / PCOS, because I'm back on my PCOS regimen, guys. So I am a PCOS sister, and yes, I did have a baby. I know it's not the same for everybody, but I got a nutritionist that helped me feel my PCOS symptoms, and I got pregnant within 3 months after trying for 3 years. So that was really cool. So I'm very grateful, and so I'm back on my PCOS regimen. But yeah, all right, question time. question time. All right, guys, you ready? Someone asked, what was the first thing you craved after giving birth? Honestly, I didn't have many cravings. It was really hard for me to eat, honestly, after birth. I was just really thirsty. But if I had to choose something I was craving, it was sushi. But I was eating cooked sushi throughout the whole pregnancy. And I still haven't got it. Someone asked, I just want to say, give yourself grace. I know even when we're okay, the feelings are overwhelming. Oh, that was cute. Thank you. So the next one is, how did you feel when they laid your blessing on your chest for the first time? So in my labor story, I got to lay him on my chest. And honestly, the best way I can explain it is that I felt euphoric. It felt unreal. I felt like I was in a different dimension. Unreal. The next question is, what was your favorite part of your birth story? Honestly, pulling him out and then looking at my husband, and like Oscar had his hand on my head and he was just telling me he loved me, and I was looking at my baby and he came out eyes open like this. He was looking at it like this, and I was obsessed. Like I was like, whoa. And then I had my husband there. It was unreal. That was my favorite part. There's a lot of congratulations in here. Thank you guys so much for everyone who's congratulated me in these. Someone asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing okay. I'm learning him, and I'm learning who I am now that I have him, and trying not to lose myself at the same time. But I'm doing okay. Like, I'm getting the help I need, right? Shout out to, I have a really good tribe. Like, my mom has come a couple nights and like let me and Oscar sleep. My sister has come like a couple nights, and I have a really good support system, so I'm doing okay. Was it different than what you expected? Absolutely. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what contractions felt like. I had no idea. And yeah. What was going through your mind when they showed him you? Absolutely nothing, except for me just staring at him. Nothing was going through my mind. I was just like, wow, this baby's mine. Like, I just had him. And then I look at Oscar, and then I'm like, oh my God. That's what went through my mind, is like, my husband and I, the guy I've known for like 10 years, we just had a baby. Like, that's what I was thinking about. Someone put epidural question mark. I'm assuming they're asking if I had one. Yes, I had one. It wasn't in my birth plan, but if you watched it, you know why I got it. And I haven't had any back pain. Nothing. Like, no side effects or anything after. So the guy who did it for me, 100%, I'm really glad I gave him a cookie. Shout out to my friend Claire, because she gave me a good amount of questions that I hope I can answer for you guys, that you guys would want to know. Says, what's one thing that surprised you most about labor / giving birth? I think the thing that surprised me the most was how much energy is spent. Like, my labor shakes, my contractions, like the having to like be in my mind and try to not fight these and try to relax. Your body goes immediately into fight or flight every single time, and you have to bring yourself back. At least that's my experience so far, or what I had. And I thought that was insane. Like, I was so surprised with how like my labor shakes started. And poor Oscar's grandma thought I was cold, and she kept telling Oscar, I can give her a blanket. And I was like, I'm hot. Like, I don't need a blanket, but thank you. What was your favorite part of the whole experience? Oh my gosh, like just pulling him out and seeing him and looking at Oscar, and then also seeing my mom. My mom was the first person, so I held him obviously first, then Oscar, and my mom was the first person to hold him. I got that on camera. I got my dad on camera holding him for the first time, but seeing my mom hold my son and the fact that she was with me my whole pregnancy, you know what I mean? Oh my God, it was just unreal. I cried. He looked so tiny in her arms, and now he doesn't look tiny in her arms. So my heart breaks a little bit, but that was one of my favorite experiences.
Everything looks good on him, okay?
Thank you so much. He looks so small in your arms, babe.
He does look so small, right?
He looks so small in your arms.
Ay, precioso.
No. He's so little, huh? What's one thing you wish you would have known that you'd want other people to know before giving birth? I think something I would want you to know is just don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to ask questions when they're asking you to do something. Tougher topic, only if you're comfortable. How has your mental health been postpartum, and what resources are out there for struggling women? If your midwifery is anything like mine, I immediately told them how I was struggling. They immediately referred me out to get some counseling. I got put on medication. No, just because you have to be put on medication, no, that doesn't mean you're crazy. No, that doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. No, that doesn't mean that's going to affect your baby. No one else's. And I have to be on a medication that is right for me because I need to be okay for him. But yeah, so my biggest thing is making sure you're getting help. Make sure you get help. Make sure you don't feel like you're doing him or your baby a disservice, and talk to your midwifery because they should have all the resources. Mine had group counseling resources. Mine had breastfeeding resources. Mine had postpartum, just like one-on-ones, and that's what I'm doing. I know I've always been open about my mental health on my channel, and I'm going to continue to do so, especially now with motherhood. And I'm going to get help, and I'm going to keep you guys updated. And yeah, so very much like the hospital gave me a lot of resources, but my midwifery at my 2-week postpartum appointment definitely gave me resources. What's your favorite thing about Arlo that he does so far? Smirks, stretches, smiles. I feel like such a mom. I love everything he does, even down to the screaming when he's upset. But I will say I kind of compare him, so roll with me here. I compare him to, so for those of you who are, I'm a Jurassic World fan. I'm a Jurassic Park girl. I love all the Jurassic World movies. Obviously the older ones more than the new ones. But I love all dinosaurs. I love it all. I don't know why. I just love watching them. Oscar does too. We watched all of them. I love them. Every movie, there's always like a clip that shows like the animatronic, like little babies. You know, the ones that are in the eggs and they're all like, and they're like this. That's Arlo. I say he's my little dinosaur, like genuinely he's my little dinosaur because that's all he does. He like stretches out his arms and he goes and he goes. He has so many faces, and I know that that's a newborn thing, but he has so many faces. Like he just goes like, and he dogs my mom out. He dogs me out. He goes like, and he's like, he mean mugs you. And I absolutely freaking love it. I love it. I have a picture of him. He like moves his hands on his face. He's very anterior placenta coated. So he lays like this. He lays like this. And I have a picture of him like this. So then whenever someone's having a hard day, I like send that to them. What's wrong, Papa? You got hot? Oh, we had a little burp. We had to get out. We had a little burp. We had to get out. Yeah, so to answer your question, I love everything he does. I'm obsessed with him, clearly. I want to give a huge shout out to my crochet group, my Patreon. They've been so supportive of me. For the people who have stayed on the Patreon, I just can't thank you guys enough for being so patient. I know I haven't been as active, and all of them say that we're there for you, and I don't know, I'm just so grateful for everyone that's there. If you're looking for a crochet group and you're not even a crocheter, small business minded, so many small businesses, people who quilt, people who punch needle are on my Patreon. It's not just crochet. My mods have done such a good job while I've been away. They had a punch and needle night, so there was people who was like that were literally, they made the cutest little like car coasters. They've had movie nights, they've had game nights, they've had, mind you guys, this is all online, so you guys are on Zooms, you guys are doing these cool things with my Patreon that they've taken over and they've done. We had a fall competition, or not competition, challenge, and I believe there was, in September, they made over 700, as a group, I made one. That was my, I contributed one, no, two. I contributed two of those over 700, I believe, makes. The goal was 1,000. The goal was 100, and they hit that in 4 days. So yeah, they hit, I believe it was like 700. 659 out of 100. So I was close, like 50 off. So 659 were makes. So they've done fall makes. They've done lots of cool stuff with my group. There's Zooms. There's game nights. There's a book club. So, and then we have a space for other crafts. So people do cross stitching and jewelry making, and it's just been really cool. So if you're looking for a group that's open-minded and want to just talk, and if you're a mom, if you're a fur mom, if you're just a nice human being and you're looking for a group to feel like you belong, I hope you can check out my Patreon. Oscar and I are going to hopefully start up our podcasts again for the Patreon. And the Discord, I'm probably going to be at the Zooms starting again. I usually did Monday every single day, but with baby being so little, I might have to change to like maybe every other Monday, or I'll figure it out. But I hope you guys can go check it out. I appreciate every single one of you who have stayed on that Patreon. I love you guys so much. Shout out to my mods, because I wish I could show you guys the work that they put behind everything. Like, for instance, like, they have Refined Vibes Monster Mashup, and it's literally a challenge where they're using a minimum of 3 patterns from the pattern hoard that they have, and mix match limbs with bodies and colors to create your own unique monsters. So like, it's just stuff like that I think is really cool that they're doing. And then there's Refined Vibes costume contest going on. And then, I don't know, I'm just so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for them, and I can see how much people are enjoying it. I love them so much. I love you guys so much. And I'm very grateful for everyone that stayed and watched this video. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the button that looks like this. We're on the road to 100K. I really hope we can make it before the year ends, but if not, it's totally fine. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. From me and Arlo, my beautiful son, we say bye. Bye, guys. I love you guys.